Which era speaks to you more?
2000.
2000. If you could use one hair tool for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
My hand.
Great.
Good afternoon, Gianmarco.
Hi, Rebecca Chang. Rebecca, I've known you since 15 long years now, and I feel your journey in hairdressing has been incredible.
Has it?
It is. And
You know, sometimes you don't realize it yourself.
That's because you're very humble.
No, but it's like it's nice to hear it from someone else that
Good.
sees it from the outside. I think it's important.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, I
But
don't know.
I would also want everyone to know your journey, where you come from, and where you are now, and what you do now.
So I was born in India, in Mumbai, and my mom is a hairdresser, and after school my dad used to take me to the salon just so that, you know, he can drop me and then we all go home together. So I guess I've been growing up with the creative flow and energy throughout my whole life through my mother. But I never grew up thinking I wanted to be a hairdresser. I definitely knew I wanted to do something in fashion, something creative, but never hairdressing. So now that I am where I am, I think my mother is very proud of me. My dad is very proud of me for sure.
But what was it like to grow up in India? Because, you know, from where you were to where you are now, there's huge difference. You know, like, you know, I've seen the house that you've born. I've seen the neighborhood. I've seen the people. I've seen your mom. You know, your mom salon, and when I've seen it, I was like, whoa! It's like a different reality. And that's for me, that was like very inspiring to see, you know, your journey. So
well, we come from very humble, you know, background. I come from a very humble family, and my mother still tells me, you know, you just need to work really hard and believe in what you're doing and just keep going. Don't worry about anything else. And my dad always pushed me. But moving to London wasn't because of hairdressing. Moving to London was because I was in love with someone that was British, and it just kind of happened like destiny, you know. And I wanted to come to London to be with this person, and we were together for 5 years, and then it ended. But anyways,
so you were very young.
I was 16.
You were like so young.
And I had given my parents an excuse that I wanted to go to London to study. They were like, wow, oh my God, I'm so proud of her. She wants to go to London to study. But actually not really.
I think we're going to cut I think we're going to cut this for your mom. So
I wanted to pursue my romantic life.
But because when we met, you were going to university.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. When we met, I was still at uni. But at the same time, I was working part-time in a salon. So, you know, doing assistant jobs. But I did do my 2-year full-time course at Tony & Guy. That obviously played a big part in my career.
How was that, you know, coming from Mumbai? You know, it's India, so obviously everything that, you know, the aesthetic of, you know, the beauty and the culture is so different from, you know, all of a sudden seeing yourself studying, you know, in the London Academy. You know, did you have a culture shock? Was it like, did you feel like it was so inspiring? Were you felt very excited to be in London? Or
of course, like, Indian culture is all about Bollywood, you know, all about the movies. And
which is fascinating.
Which is amazing, but for me at that time, I was not bothered with it. I was watching more of like American television, you know, MTV, I don't know, there's so many things. Like, a lot of American pop culture was a big part of my influence. So coming to London was definitely an eye-opener, and yeah, it was the best years of my life.
Amazing. I would love to jump forward to then jump backwards. What is that you do now? What's your current position?
So right now, I'm a freelance session stylist, and I am Gary Gill's first assistant. And this is exactly what I've been working my way up to be someone's first assistant. And to be Gary Gill's first assistant is like a privilege.
It's such a privileged position
like,
to
I'm
have,
so lucky. So,
you know, and that's why I'm asking you this question, because I think, you know, you are working at the very top in the hair industry, I mean the fashion industry, and you know, your journey from moving to London where you were very young, going to university, doing your things, and how did you actually get into session, and how hard was it? Like, what did you have to do to get there?
So
because we forget about it, don't you think? Sometimes we are where we are, but then you forget about everything that you had to do.
Yeah,
you know, like I remember you when you started. So was it?
You actually really pushed me to get into this industry.
I know.
And at that time, I mean, there wasn't such a thing called session stylist. Or I at that time when I started was 2014. I didn't even know 2014.
I think it was before.
Before
it was like
2012, something like this. And there was no such thing as a session stylist. You know. I mean, at least I wasn't aware of it. But I used to sit in the salon and look at these magazines like Vogue and British Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, all of these magazines, and like, how does one get their work in this magazine? And at that time there was no social media, it's just Facebook. I guess it's the power of manifestation and really wanting something so badly that the universe will give you the opportunity. Sure. And it's up to you if you see it and you take it. So I guess I was telling everyone about what I wanted to do. Like, oh, I want to get into fashion, I don't know how to do it. So I kept talking about this. And one of the girls that I was working with, Faith, you know, Faith, the colorist, she had left the salon and worked somewhere else. And then out of the blue, she messaged me saying, oh, you know, you should definitely meet this guy, Jimo Salako. He has a salon in Marylebone. You should definitely go see him because he does shoots. Yeah. And he's got a salon, so maybe you want to work with him. And I was like, yes, I jumped into the opportunity. And I went there with a printed CV, which we don't do anymore. So I printed out my CV and I went to the salon and I was like, can I speak to Jimo Salako, please? And they were like, no, Jimo's not available right now, but what is it for? And I was like, I want a job. And he was like, what's your qualifications? I gave her my CV. And she was like, okay, fine, we'll get back to you. And I was like, okay, doesn't seem very hopeful. Like, it was not like something, you know, that they were looking for. But then Jimo called me the next day and he's like, okay, come to the salon. I would like to meet you, like, you know, in person. And he was like, you know, we were not looking for a hairdresser, but actually when you walked in, I was behind. I saw you walk in, and it's the way you presented yourself and your confidence. When you walked in, I really liked that. So that's why I wanted to meet you. So then I just told him, to be honest, like, I don't want to work in a salon. I want to assist you on fashion shoots. Like, when you go on shoots, on shows, I want to assist you. That's what I want to do. And he was like, fine, you know, you can work part-time and then we can do shoots together, like, you can assist me.
I mean, he was coming towards the end of his career at
That's
that time.
true.
So for you, it was also good to see someone so experienced.
Yeah.
And how they actually operate and their work ethics. And that was my next question to you, because since I've met you 15 years ago, you've always been talented. Like, you always had those magic hands. Like, I still remember. Like, you always put things together in, like, no time, right? Like, without thinking too much. And it's true, not many people have that talent. But even with that talent, what did you need to learn? What did you have to deal with to are where you are now? Because we know that talent alone sometimes doesn't do justice. You know,
my experience was more of like inner work. My experience was more working on myself internally. Not technically, everyone can, of course, I improved technically, you know, assisting so many different amazing session stylists throughout the years. anyone can learn technique, but
Sure.
it's about how you control your emotions when the pressure is super high and you're working under stress. How do you turn the negative energy into positive? And you know, for instance, like if you're super stressed, you can snap at your fellow team members very quickly. And I used to do that, you know, and at the end of every show or shoot, it would not be a nice moment for me to look back and be like, shit, I shouldn't have actually said that to the person. I would definitely apologize after. But you know, these things make you really aware. Like a lot of my experience made me aware as a person, like what kind of person was I really when I was, you know, working in these conditions. So being aware of those things and working on them was my greatest lesson.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because I feel like from working in a salon to going to work, you know, backstage or you know, on set, it gives you a totally different work ethic, right? Because every day you need to deal with so many different creatives and learning also a lot of things from them. And my next question to you was, you know, working at such a high level and having so many different experiences, you have developed an eye for details that a lot of hairdressers don't have. If I'm working with you, you know, if we're doing like a job together and I'm helping you, because of your experience of every day being on set, working with great photographers, you know, working on camera, trying different products and blah, 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 you know, you have an eye that maybe I don't have as well. You know, how do you deal teaching someone or dealing with team members? Because, you know, when you guys do shows, you have so many hairstylists. How do you deal when someone don't see what you see and you also have to teach them and being very kind to them at the same time? That can be very frustrating, I guess, from your side sometimes.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. You can't teach someone taste because everyone has their own taste and your taste might not be my taste.
Right.
So you need to find your own taste, but especially what your question was, how do I deal with people to see from my point of view in achieving a look? Because it's at the end of the day, it's what Gary has chosen, what look he wants to present to the client. I am really training, I am just really encouraging people to see through Gary's vision, not necessarily my vision. So being with him and working with him for like 8-9 years, I now know exactly what he wants and what he likes. And that only comes with experience and working for one person. And you grow as an artist. You grow your taste. You grow your, you know, the way you see things. So I think patience also is a big, big key to have patience with people. I'm not gonna lie, like on show day, you can even ask Dario, he's putting his head down, he's laughing. I can be really harsh. I am very harsh.
I can be, yes you are. It's a positive thing, I would say.
I guess it is a positive thing because you need to have some kind of discipline, especially when you're working at high standards. You're expected to have that quality of work and there's no room for mistake because at the end of the day, one day you have it, the next day you might not. So you know, Gary always said this to me, you always do every job like it's your last job for them.
Sure, 100%.
Otherwise you take things for granted and you just never know what happens.
Sure.
You know, so there's no room for mistake really. There's room for patience. I can like, you know, explain to you 1 time, 2 times, but that's it. Like, you know, we're doing 70 models in 2.5 hours. You know, you can't be coming backstage on shows for lulz. You know, you got to put your head down and do the job. You need to be good. You need to be agile. You need to be, you know, in tune with your instincts, you know,
aware of your environment.
Aware of your environment, like think on your toes. If you have to change something, you do it quickly because it, you know, sometimes you need to cut corners in order to create something. And that's okay, but you trust yourself also. But all of these things come with experience.
Sure.
You know what I've noticed though, when people put a model down on their chair and the first thing is they just want to touch the hair. I was like, okay, hang on a minute, step back, let's assess the hair. You know, so girls have different hair types. You know, you have black hair, you have curly hair, you have poker straight hair, you have Asian hair, you have like super fine hair, super thick hair, different textures. You know, not everyone has the same treatment to get the same result. So you have to kind of like take a step back and be like, okay, so her hair is this type. What products are we using?
Sure.
You know, how can we do it? We have to do it differently because her hair is not like how the test model hair was.
Sure.
You know, so it's sometimes being like, just relax.
Sure.
You know, you're gonna do hair, don't worry, but just step back. Let's talk about it. Let's have a clear plan as to what we're doing, and then you go attack. You know, I find like people don't take the opportunity to really have that 2 minutes of assessing the hair.
Do you feel also it's because a lot of people have been taught how to do things in a certain way?
I think that comes from, you know, being in habit of working in a salon where you have a time frame. Okay, 45 minutes for a haircut and blow dry. Right, as soon as she's in the chair after shampoo, get her done, do a cut in 10 minutes, do a blow dry, you know. So that's already like a habit of wanting to do something quickly as possible and not really taking your time to have a bespoke service for everyone.
Sure. Because that's very crucial on how we actually tailoring our education.
100%. 100%.
Because, you know, education is always like, this is what you're gonna learn.
This is what you do.
Our, and especially yours experience in, you know, in fashion, the way that you work backstage, we had to literally to translate that approach into education. So helping people to truly understand that each and every one is so different. You know, there cannot be a method of doing something. There is only be like, let's just see what is going on, who is this character, what are we creating, and what we need to make it happen.
I think it's so important now. People want to feel special.
So, next question. If you work in a salon, so if you are someone that just work in a salon and you are...
I loved working in a salon.
You loved it. You were really good.
I was not really good. I really had such a good time.
But you were also a great saleswoman.
I was a great saleswoman.
I was impressed because at the end of the week, my sale compared to yours really sucked. So yeah, I was gonna ask you, so if you are working in a salon and you wish to get into session work, what are the first things that you should become aware of? And you know, what are your first steps?
You know how I started? Working in a salon, and I wanted to do session work. I think on Facebook, they have this group called London Hair and Makeup Artists.
Oh, they did, yeah, they did.
That's where I started looking, and students from, you know, London College of Fashion, like so
CSM
many,
and,
a lot of these fashion students were posting, I'm looking for a hairdresser this weekend to do a shoot. And I think that's how I started just creating my own style. And I would encourage anyone that's working in the salon, you know, on your day off or on a weekend, like go do a photo shoot just for fun, just to see if you can deal with it or if you even like it. You know, meet other creative people, and that's how you open your vision of how other people see beauty.
Sure.
You know, I think that would be the best way.
And what about assisting as well? Do you think assisting is quite important?
I mean, assisting now has become so accessible. You know, anyone can assist anyone now because, first of all, there is a shortage of good assistants.
So, talking about good assistants, what are your expectations to assistants?
Oh, my expectations are very high.
So, because again, I feel like a lot of people look at like, oh my God, look at, you know, what Rebecca's doing, and she's traveling the world, she's doing all those big shows, and everyone always think about the fun part of it. But what do you expect an assistant to deliver on a job with you? You know, yeah.
I'll tell you the good parts and not the not so good parts. But I think the not so good parts are part of it that will make the experience better.
Sure.
So so the good part is, okay, let's say what does it take to make a really good assistant?
Yeah.
Always be on time. So if the call time is 9 o'clock, always be at 8:30, 8:45. Just because the call time is at 9, it doesn't mean you come there at 9. It means we've already set up the model will come and we start doing hair at 9 o'clock. Second is, if you're a very talkative person, it's fine, but you need to know when not to talk.
Sure.
When we're talking to clients, when we're talking to models, if you're a very chatty person, it's not a problem, but sometimes you just need to know when not to chat, because it's very distracting, not only for me, but for other
Everyone
people
who's trying
around
to focus
the
to do
room.
their own jobs.
Yes, because if you're working under high pressure and you're, working with a certain standard, people need to focus. People are concentrating. So
also because while you're talking, it's really hard to focus on so many details, and I feel like, but that was exactly the point. It's like, coming from a salon when you might used to chat a lot, onto the environment where you have little time to deliver the maximum, you've got perform at the maximum.
To be a good assistant, you need to really not take things personally.
And how difficult it is nowadays not to take things personal.
I used to take things very personally also, but you need to have a thick skin to work in this industry.
Right.
If someone tells you that's not looking good, do it again. Don't take it personally.
Isn't that what makes you grow so much?
That's what makes you grow. Exactly.
To say, you know what, I've got criticized for my work today, and I've learned so much.
Yes. Or when you're doing a show and you have a model on your chair, and it's a certain look, and someone from the core team takes that model away from your chair and says, "No, you come with me." Don't take that personally.
Sure.
It's not because you're not good enough, it's just because she has a certain amount of hair and it needs to be done in a certain amount of time with a certain person that can work quick. Don't take things personally. Sure. That is number one, I would say.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process of, you showing up on a job with Gary, you guys doing like a big show, like a big editorial?
Show or editorial, because they're very different.
Let's say you guys doing like a big show.
Okay.
So what is the process? Because obviously who's watching, and maybe like a lot of younger hairstylists, they obviously looking just like, okay, that's the show, they're doing their hair for the show. But there is a lot of preparation.
There's
and
so much of prep.
How do you guys come up with the looks? Like how do you cast, and like how much work there is behind, and how much of this work is important for your growth as a hairstylist?
So a lot of people have this notion that, on show day you just come and do hair.
Right, that's why I'm asking this question.
Maybe the people from the team, of course, they just come there to do the hair. But like for me as a first assistant or as a core member of the team, prior to the show, maybe 3-4 weeks prior to the show, we have a meeting with the client. So for instance,
when you say client,
you mean with the designer, the creative director of,
Right.
Chloe, Balenciaga, or whichever clients you have. And you have a creative meeting with the client. And then you go back and then you propose your contributions. So the client gives you a brief of, okay, this season she is this woman, Chloe is this girl. So we go back, we create a mood board. Gary will ask me to do some research. He will give me some guidelines. Okay, search for, I don't know, 90s rave, GABA style, all of these things.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff. And also sometimes research what you research and what pictures you put up is very important. Because that shows also if you understand the brief or not. And also if you understand what Gary's aesthetic is. That's important.
That's it.
So he tells me, I do the research, I create him like 3 rounds of researches, so three rounds of files. So my first round would be 10 images, and he'll be like, oh, can you look for more of this direction? Okay, so we keep going until he's happy, and then he creates a master mood board. And then the next couple of weeks we go and present, and that's when we do the hair test. So we'll have 2 or 3 members of our team with Gary, and we'll have 4 or 5 models in the, to doing the hair test for the client. The client's going to be there, stylist, makeup artist, it's a whole run through for the show. We do the hair test. We see if the client likes it. She might love it. Happy days for all of us. she might not, and we do something
change
else.
things,
we
yeah.
change it completely, and then we keep doing it until she's really happy. And that could take up to 8 hours, a whole day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days testing.
Right.
You know, so it's not just it's not just 4 hours anymore.
Right.
It's like days. Once the look is confirmed, pictures are taken with the whole outfit, and that's the look we print out on show day.
Right. So, and how many times do you do this during the year? You basically do this all the time, whether you also...
We do it all the time. So we do men's shows, women's shows, and then we do autumn, winter, spring, summer. So 4 times in a year.
Right.
But then also we do couture shows, which is in between. So it's like 6 seasons.
So if you put all of this combined, and also you put the work that you do like in, you know, as editorials or like campaigns, that means in your career, you're always exposed to new references,
Always,
to new ideas,
always,
to
which
new
is
ways
so
of research,
exciting.
which is very exciting.
It's amazing.
Right. So I think this is probably what makes your eye and you know your taste to constantly evolve and change also.
Yeah, 100%.
And be quite open as well.
Yeah, it's I think it's such a great career creatively, you know, because you see a lot of from others' point of view.
Sure.
And you learn so much. You're like, oh wow, I didn't know about this photographer, or you know, like how did you know who is she, who is that? You know, so many new things, and that's why I'm so lucky to be in this industry, and I love it. And I would not think of doing anything else apart from this.
That's so good. For a lot of youngsters that they maybe watching this and they don't know about fashion world, or maybe some people that are completely outside the fashion industry, and also a lot of salon hairdressers. Like some of our students, when you say I am someone's first assistant or when I'm assisting, what do you actually mean? I mean, I know, but I want people because probably some people think you are an assistant means you're beginning, but
no. So you become someone's first assistant when you've been assisting that person for a long time, and they think you're ready to take more responsibilities.
Right.
So
what's one of your responsibilities?
So my responsibilities of being a first assistant is doing the bags before every shoot. So rearranging them, making sure we've restocked in everything, combs, clips, products. We've got everything in the bag. Some extra pieces sometimes we need because we need wigs and we need extensions and we need other creative stuff. And then when we're flying, if we're flying for a job, I need to do the bags for flight. So I need to weigh all the bags, make sure all the bags are 32 kilos. Right. And you know, with the train now that we've finished Brexit, and I have to do a carnet, which is like an official document of all the lists of items, making sure. So basically, my job is really organizing the kit and making sure we have each and everything every time we shoot. And for the shows, I have to make sure that we've got product shows. So we don't have product company sponsoring us, and Gary just buys all the products. So I need to make sure I've got stock of each and every product that's going to last us 3 or 4 shows for the whole season. That's about like 20 prep, 20 thickening, 40 hairsprays, you know. So I have to keep track of all of these things. And then also at the end of the shoot or end of the show, I have to make sure everything goes back into the bags.
But aside all the bags, I'm aware that obviously your main job is to make sure that everyone that works in the team is creating hair that up to the standard of Gary Gill. So, and that requires a lot of experience and a lot of patience as well.
So Gary does most of the creative direction for the shoots, hair-wise. So he tells us, or he tells me and, you know, Tassos or Natsumi, okay, this is the look. And we have to execute the look. We do the looks, and we know what Gary wants and what he likes. And we show it to him, and then he's like, yeah, okay, he'll tweak it on set, and that's it.
Right.
But we just make sure that, you know, we're all aligned in the same vision. and the same quality and standard of what Gary wants.
Right. Instead, when you do your own jobs, so when you do your own photo shoots, what is your process then? Like what is your creative? What is your creative process and the research that you love to do? And
so if I'm doing my own shoot, obviously the client gives you a brief as to what they want from. I always think that asking the production or asking clients questions before the shoot, couple of days before the shoot, is really important. Like who are the models? Can you have a full list of all the casting?
Sure.
You can understand really well as to what you're going to propose as a hairstyle,
and what you can deliver.
And what you can deliver. Never overpromise and underdeliver.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that you've got yourself covered. There's a budget for an assistant. How big is the space? How much time do I have to do hair?
Right.
So I think communication is extremely important. Extremely important. Communication between you and the client, you and the makeup artist, you and the production.
Because if the communication is not clear, then if anything happens, or maybe you don't have the right budget to buy things that you need, or maybe the right time, or you have too many models, and you don't have enough assistants, all those things then come on you at the end of the...
Talking about budget also is another big misconception that people have when they first start, is that they think that all shoots are paid for. That's not the fact.
That's not the case.
Like when I started, for 5 years, I didn't make any money. I was just investing in myself.
Sure.
Working in the salon at the same time. Like not everything is paid for, and don't expect the rates to be what you want. They fluctuate. The budget always differs. So be humble, do your best, and if you really want to do it, I would just do it for free even, because at the end of the day, it contributes to your own experience, your growth, and your portfolio. So that's the best investment you can ever make. So don't think of not doing something just because you're not going to get paid,
That's cool.
I think you need to invest in yourself in that, and that's important.
That's
so
great.
Budget also, don't have this unrealistic idea of making shitloads of money at the beginning.
You are one of the most intuitive, fearless hairstylists I've ever worked with. You don't think twice before touching the hair, and you make things happen so smoothly. Like sometimes it's like you just go for it, and I'm always like, whoa. And I know that a lot of people get very frustrated watching you.
Do they?
Yes, because you just make things look so easy sometimes. So let me ask you a question. How important is technique for you? Just let's say you
important is as what? Technique is as important as believing in yourself. Technique is important, of course. Technique is important, but don't focus too much on technique, because when you do something freely and you've made a mistake, you've always got technique to rely on.
Right.
But just take that jump of doing something that's not technical.
Right.
And when you're in the zone, it just happens. The energy just flows through my hands.
That's great. Okay, which are the works that you have done with or without Gary that you are most proud of?
I did a campaign for Horty. This young girl, Holly Simpson, she's amazing. And she has these beautiful collection, handmade ties in the shape of roses. And that was my first big campaign, because I was working with this amazing photographer that I wanted to work for, Rosie Marks. And I was like, no, I have to do my best for this, for this photo shoot. And Daria was helping me. And we had, 8, 9 models. And we had literally 10 to 5 to shoot and do hair and makeup for 8 to 9 models back to back. I don't know how I did it.
But you guys did it.
We had so many obstacles. The alarm started going off. We had to do hair on the street.
But those things happen very often when you work,
yeah,
right?
but that's the time when you really have to think on your feet. Okay, it's
Sure.
fine. Don't let those things crash you down.
Affect you and you just keep
And
cracking
that
on.
is the work I'm most proud of, and that's the kind of work that I will always look back and be like, that looks fucking great, because I'm very critical about my work.
And also because there is a story behind.
Yeah.
And I feel like when people scroll down on social media and they're like, oh yeah, she's, you know, they're doing the Balenciaga campaign, but they don't know what's behind as well, like, because not everything is always smooth and perfect.
Never. It's never
actually,
smooth
right?
and perfect, really.
Right. Okay. Maybe one more job that you've done with Gary that you feel like so when you will look back in 20 years, like I was so happy that I was there with him at that time.
When we did the Balenciaga show in Shanghai.
Shanghai was so cool, yeah.
It was hardcore because we were dealing with jet lag. So as soon as we landed from the UK, we went straight to the hair test to prep, and we prepped for 6 hours on a jet lag from London to Shanghai, and then the next day we had to work.
Right.
It was hardcore. We were finishing every day at 10 p.m. And we had to do how many wig preps, and it was
because there was so many different looks within the same show, like
so many different looks,
and the shot, like
so many challenges, mental challenges.
Right.
It was like one of the highlights. It was one of the best experiences.
So Balenciaga in Shanghai, good. Yeah, I was.
And also the show that it was raining.
Yeah.
It was raining. We had these wigs prepped for days, months actually, and all the hair was wet, but it looked amazing.
But it looked great. The
whole show was wet.
Yeah.
It was not part of the show. It just started raining.
Yeah. Thank you for having me there, you guys. It was very good also.
No.
What are your views on the current state of hairdressing industry? And to clarify to the audience, when we say hairdressing industry, we don't mean hair in fashion, just hairdressing, which is two different worlds. So how do you see hairdressing? Because since you're totally far away from that world, apart from, when you're touching a little bit with SENZI, because with SENZI I feel we're in between, right? We're in between those two. What are your views on it?
My views, I think the hairdressing industry kind of needs to be a bit more welcoming to other new ways of doing hair,
And seeing beauty, probably.
Welcoming in the sense like encouraging new ways of doing hair, not to just be stuck by doing the same old things. And also, encouraging young people. I mean, I think the hairdressing industry, I've heard from a lot of hair salon owners that they're struggling to find new assistants. They're struggling to find assistants that want to do work in the salon or anything like that. So
do you feel that the young generation, especially the Gen Z, are feeling a bit disconnected to traditional hairdressing?
Yes,
like
100%.
if you're like a 19-year-old, like a cool 19-year-old, like, full in your peak of your creative spark, and you're grabbing a hair magazine or you're seeing like a hair show.
they're not gonna pick up.
They're gonna feel connected.
But
to
also,
that?
the hairdressing industry needs to move on with time. We're stuck.
So
We're stuck
old.
in the past. People don't want to go to the hair salons anymore. Like young kids, they don't want to go to the they don't want to go to your traditional hair salons anymore. They want their friends to cut their hair
At home, or like in a studio, like in a warehouse.
They want
things like
people
this.
that are like them to cut their hair,
Sure.
And with social media, anything is possible now. And people their minds are so open with so many different ideas from all around the world. And I think the hairdressing industry need to be open to that.
Yeah. It'd be nice also to see, more of a welcoming, more of a welcoming environment for also different type of gender and race
and hierarchy,
and age,
yeah.
In the work that we see. It's nice I would love to grab a hair magazine, which I don't, unfortunately, but maybe see also some elderly people on it. One piece of advice you received, or you wish you did receive, that you will give to young Rebecca, maybe like 15 years ago before starting, what will it be?
Oh, this is so hard. Be a little bit more patient with others.
And would you say also be a little bit more patient with yourself as well?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Be a bit more patient with others and with yourself.
Good. Thank you for sharing all of this.
welcome.
I've learned so much from you. Like
1 minute, 10 questions.
1 minute. 1 minute. You're gonna receive a bunch of questions that I wrote.
At the same time?
Yes, all together. And then also we're gonna flip
What?
some random question from this book.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Chili on top or not?
Yes.
Of course. 80s or 2000s? Which era speaks to you more?
2000.
2000. If you could use one hair tool for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
My hand.
Great. If your work had a soundtrack, what songs or what genre would it be?
I think.
It's a hard one. This is a hard one.
I think mine would be rock,
Yeah,
hip hop.
sure. Let's keep it cheesy. Who would you invite to your dream dinner party? Living or dead?
Living or dead.
Yeah.
Dream dinner party.
Yeah. Who will you invite?
I would invite Guido, Eugene, Gary Gill, all in one room, having an intense,
Hair conversation.
intimate dinner. Just the four of us.
Wow, okay. Sweet. Would you rather have the ability to travel anywhere instantly or instantly master any new creative skill?
Instantly travel anywhere.
That's good.
I thought I had to flip a page.
You wanna do it? Go for it. Good luck.
The best things in life are.
The best
things in life are love, food, and family. I'm so cheesy, but they are.
Okay, sweet.
They're the pillars of life.
Sweet. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here today.
Piccadilly line is operating with